you know the extension number of the person you wish to speak to, please enter it now. Did you know that from our website you can contact us via live chat and speak to a member of our team? This service is available every day between 8 AM and midnight. Typically, the average wait time on live chat is less than calling 101. If you wish to stay on the line, we will answer your call as soon as possible. Please note, at times of peak demand, there may be a delay in answering your call whilst we are managing emergency calls. If you know the first name and the last name, or the rank and last name of the person you wish to contact, please press 1. If you're inquiring about a fixed penalty notice or speeding, please press 2. If your call is in relation to somebody in custody, please press 3. If you wish to report a road traffic incident, please press 4. If you wish to hear these options again, please press hash. Alternatively, please hold for a member of our team.
West Midlands Police, Tom speaking. How can I help you?
Hello there, Tom. I received a letter today from a, let me get the right one, from a PC3110 Beard, and she's asked me to contact them at my earliest convenience.
Okay, and your name, please?
My name's H.
H.
Yes, that's correct.
How do you spell that?
Just the letter H.
Oh, just the letter H.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if they're available.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Is that PC3110 Beard?
Yes,
Ah, right.
speaking, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I've received your letter. There's a couple of things which do concern me.
Right. Go ahead.
The first one, I suppose about that. Are you aware of the nature of the complaint I made?
I've got obviously the paperwork around obviously the original complaint,
Yes.
and then the paperwork that was done and the appeal and the appeals being upheld. So it was around discrimination.
Yeah, so I mean, considering that you said you can't locate the conversation, then I'm struggling to come to terms with the statement you made, where, please note, the behaviour that you have raised regarding the contact staff will not result in formal disciplinary action against them, but learning may be identified. What I'm struggling with is, before you've listened to the conversation or looked at any of the evidence, you've already determined that it's not a big deal, and I think it is a big deal.
No, obviously we've listened to the one conversation.
But you haven't listened to the second.
No, we haven't, and unless you can provide me with a number that it's come from, then unfortunately I can't, so we've got no evidence of any discrimination. We can't obviously find that they've discriminated against you if I can't listen to what has been said.
Okay, so what you're saying is, okay, so what you're saying...
We can't just find them guilty, can we, or take action against them if, you know what I mean, we're not listening to what was said. Obviously we've got your version and you're upset and felt discriminated against, but we need the other side, and I have approached them to see if they remember the conversation, but obviously they speak to lots and lots of people every day. Okay,
so knowing the exact time the telephone was made, knowing the exact duration knowing the police staff that were involved,
Yeah,
that would not be enough to be able to locate it on the database.
that's correct, sir, yeah.
So the only way you can locate calls on your database is through the number that called them.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, well that's fine then. I'm going to put my feelings in writing, which I'll send to you, because I'm not really convinced by that. But I have a full recording of the conversation.
Oh, great. So could you send that to us?
Well, how do I get that to you? Sorry?
Obviously, what's the best way for you? So normally we'd obviously accept it as like a file on an email.
I don't have access to the internet.
Yeah, and I'm aware that obviously you like to keep your privacy
Yes.
to yourself.
Yeah. Well, we all should do that. We all should do that a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Is there any way it could be recorded onto a disc?
I can try, but
You've got somebody that perhaps help you
Yeah.
put it on is it DVDs do, because obviously we don't need pictures, do we? Just
No.
need sound.
yeah. So
So it depends how you've recorded it. I mean, we've got facilities up here to listen to DVDs.
Okay. So when I do a Freedom of Information Act asking for these calls that record, they're going to get back in touch with me and say, sorry, we can't find them.
Without a number, because the way our system records is the number phoning in.
Right. So if somebody, let me just get this right. Let me get this right. This seems rather odd. This does. It was rather odd. I'm going to pursue it because I don't believe I'm getting told the truth here. I do have a recording of it, but I don't believe I'm being told the truth. Somebody's not telling you the truth, or you're not telling me the truth, and I'm not going to let it go, because if somebody phones up and is abusive down the phone, there's no way you can track them.
Only from their number.
Right. So how is it you could track the first one when you didn't have the number, but you can't track the second one when you don't have the number?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's no good saying you're not sure. There's something here. There's some. Well, you have to listen to what I'm saying. You've tracked the first one down. You've tracked. I will do.
I didn't. A colleague tracked the first one down.
Well, you need to ask them what type of search query they put in.
The two colleagues that worked on it no longer work here anymore.
Well, that's funny because so it's amazingly two people. That's the third person that doesn't work there anymore that has dealt with my complaints. That'll be three now then.
Yeah.
Well, that's really strange, isn't it?
Well, no.
It is strange.
Do leave this department because obviously it's quite a stressful place to work.
Okay, so they haven't left West Midlands Police then. You could easily email them. They've actually
have.
Right, so you're saying they left. This is even more confusing to me now because they left with the knowledge how to search for phone calls.
No, they left with the knowledge of how they found the one. I don't know how that one call was found, and there's nothing on the paperwork. I've been given the paperwork to try and sort out with you because the original officer that dealt with it has left, and the lady that found the phone call for her has left. Without it on the papers, I'm not sure, because the only way that I know of getting phone calls is from the number that's phoned in. Right,
that's the only way you know. But this is the way I look at it, right? I'm talking to the West Midlands Police, the second biggest police force in the country, that probably has loads of operations going on that no one knows about, probably international, yet there's the one person who can find a phone call on the database has left. That just doesn't seem logically right. It just doesn't seem right that you can tell me that you can't locate a phone call because the person that located it last time is no longer working with West Midlands Police. We're talking about a multi-billion-pound operation here. We're not talking about, some shop at the end of the street that lost his CCTV footage. You're saying somebody could phone up, be highly abusive down the phone, and because you don't have that phone number, you can't ever. They could give you some sort of threat or something, and you can't track that down through that phone number. That's just without that phone number. That just don't sit right with me. There's something definitely not right there. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. Are we still in contact?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, what is your required outcome from this then? You want me to still, are you going to send in the tape recording or not?
Of course I'll have to find some way, you know, of finding that. But I was just expressing my incredulation that you can't find the recording.
Yeah, I've listened to it. I've told you what I know, and obviously that's not acceptable. And I will put your feelings and incredulation on the paperwork.
No, you're going to listen to the second one with the discrimination in there.
Well, it's all linked to the original discrimination, isn't it? But like I said before, until we can hear or we've got proof that somebody has discriminated against you, then obviously we can't take any action. And obviously everything has to be proportionate. Okay then,
so the recordings you take of the conversation are not, so you're saying you're not able to find them. The evidence of me being discriminated against, you can't find it.
We found one of the calls that was found originally, okay? The second one we cannot find. I couldn't find it originally, okay, and I can't find it either. And so if we had a phone number, we could find it.
Well, you can't have a phone number. So
we can't find it.
So you're going to have, it's a good job I record all the phone calls then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So,
if you're willing to share that with us and send it in, then we can listen to it. It will then be evaluated, and obviously if there's a case of discrimination, okay, it will then be looked at as to what further action we need to take in regard to discrimination.
Right, so this note that you've put on here then says, it's a paragraph on its own, so it says, please note the behaviour that you have raised regarding the contact staff will not result in formal disciplinary action against them, but learning may be identified. But I raised discrimination. You didn't say in that statement, you haven't said in that statement, we can't find, unless you show us evidence of discrimination, then it won't result. You've just automatically sort of jumped to a conclusion without listening to the evidence.
Well,
I find that,
all I can say is,
you're supposed to be neutral.
On the discrimination, but normally, okay, if it's just in a phone call, then it won't result in any misconduct being taken against the officers or the staff.
No, but I'm alleging they discriminated against me due to my name.
Yeah, and that doesn't normally result in misconduct.
Why wouldn't that? Okay,
dealt with normally by a supervisor speaking to the person, and the way forward is learning and trying to get that person to not do it again, and obviously learn from their actions. But they won't be sacked, they won't be, I don't know what your expectations are, but the reason that we're dealing with it is it's not a misconduct matter.
So somebody discriminating against a person due to their name is not misconduct?
No.
Right, so that can actually, that's really strange. Does West Midlands Police allow their officers?
We didn't say we allow them.
Well, it is allowing them, because when does it become a problem?
Well, it depends on the escalation, but just a name or a letter of a name would not on our sort of.
So they treat me differently when they
conduct.
When they.
Well, no, it'd be noted and it'd be learnt from.
But hang on a second. Hang on a second.
But they're not going to end up getting management action, sacked, or it's not going to go into the higher ons of a hearing or a disciplinary.
So what if you had what if you had proof of this happening before? Because I know part of the action plan I want put together is you looking to make sure that there's been no complaints of a similar nature before.
Yeah, and when we can identify the person involved, then we'll look at that, and obviously if there's a history of discrimination, then obviously we'll look into that, but without the names or, getting the details of what's actually gone on, then it will be dealt with proportionately, and in that case it's learning and advising and trying to get a person to learn and move on.
So they get the option to learn and move on. Do you if you ever stopped anybody for speeding and said, just learn from it? You ever stopped anybody for knocking anybody over? Just learn from it. You burgled somebody else. Just learn from that. Can you learn from that? It seems inappropriate.
Criminal matters, so that obviously you're twisting what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not twisting. I know there's a line between one and the other.
People have been advised about their conduct in a car. We don't always take action, taking them to court or writing them a ticket.
But you're thinking...
People are advised and learn from it.
Yeah. So you're thinking if you treat somebody differently based on their name...
Don't tell me what I'm thinking.
All right,
okay,
then.
we're talking about the system that involves us dealing with police officers and staff and misconduct.
Yeah.
And there's a set of what the person's done, obviously affects what happened to them. And at the moment, the issue you've raised, although concerning, would not end up with that person being formally dealt with in such a way as being sacked or attending a hearing. And as I say, the way the system's changing is we're going to learning.
Right. So let's get this right then. If somebody's get treated differently because of their name, then as long as you learn from it.
As long as they learn from it.
Well, when I say you, I mean West Midlands Police.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you personally. Don't ever think people are talking to you personally. They're talking to West Midlands Police, unless they say they're talking to you personally. When I'm talking to you, I mean I'm talking to West Midlands Police.
The organisation and the guidelines nationally now is taking the emphasis away from basically the big stick and putting it towards a carrot. So the idea is that people learn from any problems or mistakes they've made, okay, and obviously we'd look at if they keep repeating the same mistakes, then yes, things would have to be escalated. Okay,
so it's in the favour of the people that are employed by West Midlands Police. What I'm saying is the harm and distress that's maybe caused to somebody part of the community who's not employed by West Midlands Police. So you've gone towards this part where you've gone towards this part where you want to give the option of your staff or the constables who are employed by West Midlands Police to learn from their mistakes if they've made them. Yeah. So you want them to learn from them.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Right. But what has West Midlands Police put in place then? Because you're just looking after your staff about the people who have been affected by their mistakes.
Well, obviously, we try and get those people, like we're doing now, to interact, to obviously find out what they ultimately want to happen, and get your views on the matter.
Okay, so it's just my views. As long as, but how would that satisfy my distress and and just total upset of being treated so poorly that I've had to
all we can do
make an appeal?
Apologise as an organisation.
So even you won't even ask. So you want to apologise as an organisation because you don't want your staff to apologise?
Well, it's not practical for every member of the staff. We do it on their behalf because we're PSD, so we're dealing with this. We've got all the records regarding what a person's done before, what type of complaints that we're getting in. So obviously we're the hub for trying to deal.
I believe.
But it's not practicable for every single member of staff that gets complained about to deal directly with that person. No,
I'm not asking them to deal with me directly. That wouldn't be appropriate. What I'm asking is, because what I'm trying to say is, there is no consequences, or the consequences for the person who created the problem or made the mistake, if one was made, are less than those that have been treated poorly and probably distressed. But
that's your opinion.
Well, I'm talking about my personal feelings.
Yeah, and I don't know what the person's feelings is.
Well, let's do mine then. Let's do mine. I feel really badly about the way I was treated.
Okay.
Right.
So how can we address that? What do you want to happen?
Well, so this is where we come to this part now. First of all, I would have liked the person who dealt with it in the first place to have, who was said it was in professional standards, to have done it properly. You failed to do that.
Yeah, which we're addressing now.
Yeah, but that's another failure by professional standards department.
Okay, by that individual, yes, and obviously...
You see, this is when you keep swapping hats. We're talking, now you want to talk about individuals now, instead of departments. Now...
Okay, yes, our department then has failed in that particular incident.
So
we've taken the learning on board, and I'm trying to put it right.
Well, you wouldn't have took, what it's took is somebody else to point it out to you. You wasn't even now, I'm concerned that you can't even recognise that you don't even do it properly. You've never done a complaint that I've ever brought forward. You can't even do it properly. You can't even retain the evidence or have the knowledge how to get the evidence when I give you all the information. I have to record it myself because this is what it's down to. I can't trust, even though you tell me you record the phone calls, I can't trust your department or any individual to be able to get that evidence when it's required. And that's what you've told me. Then you write to me, whether you meant it in that context or not, that's how it comes across. You've already decided what it's going to be. I've just said discrimination. You know nothing about the discrimination when you wrote this letter. All you knew was discrimination. They could have used very serious words against me. You did not know. You said you haven't listened to the phone call, so you don't know what type of...
On the first phone call you sent us.
Right, let's get this. The second call made that day cannot currently be located on the system. Please provide the telephone number of your friend's phone you used to call West Midlands Police, and I will endeavour to find and listen to the call. Please note that behaviour that you have raised regarding the contact staff.
Don't raise your voice, please, sir. I'm listening to you.
Please note that behaviour, it's because I moved the phone closer, that's what it was. Please note that the behaviour that you have raised regarding the contact staff will not result in formal disciplinary action against them, but learning may be identified. So you've said the behaviour that you've raised, I haven't raised any behaviour other than discrimination. You don't know what type of discrimination it was. You haven't listened to the phone call. So you have.
I understand what you're saying, sir.
Yeah. You understand?
I understand what you're saying.
Right. So I'm concerned that you've got a bias already towards...
So, if the phone call, when we listen to, is that shocking and is that discriminatory, then it will be escalated.
Yeah, so why put that in then? Why don't...
Along the basis of the first one.
But it doesn't say that. No, it doesn't. You haven't wrote that though. You haven't wrote that. You wrote, please note the behaviour that you have raised. Well, I only raised discrimination. I didn't go into detail. I thought you'd just listen to the phone call. So I wasn't going to put any ideas in anybody's head straight away. So you look at it in a neutral way.
You're not helping us then, are you? If you'd have included some of the language or the severity of it.
I don't need to. It's just you shouldn't treat everything... Every complaint should be treated the same. You shouldn't give any priority to anything else.
I'm afraid when it comes in, stuff gets prioritised.
Hang on a second. What you're doing here now is you're criticising me for criticising you. That's what you're doing. I'm only pointing out here that you've already determined what type of outcome it's going to be without even listening to it or understanding what type of discrimination it was. And that's concerning because that shows a bias on your behalf. You can't see that. It's no good just not answering. You're not going to go anywhere unless we can talk openly about things.
Okay, so I'm biased then. I don't know.
No, I don't want you to say you're biased. I just want you to recognise that perhaps when you write these letters, it's not good. I'm not some guy that is unable to articulate his feelings or write a letter. I'm not some guy that you might meet in the street that just lets people say things and automatically believe them. And I'm not going to tell you everything because it might bias what's going on. You need to look at it with a fresh mind and a fresh ear and a fresh look. Not just, I've just said discrimination, and then the person who gets to deal with it should listen to it without having anything else in their head. And it's just, I'm so flabbergasted that you wrote something like that without even knowing what the evidence was. It's terrible, and that's all I get from professional standards departments every time. I've had an investigation completed for 3 months now, and it's waiting for the hierarchs to I don't know, whoever you'd pass it to when you've done it, or wherever it works, because you're not open and transparent about how you do things. Why can't you just do it normally? What like to say? You know, your PSD, right? If I make a complaint to you that I've seen an officer punch somebody in the face, it should be a local investigation. It shouldn't be a local resolution. So my desired outcome.
What, to do away with PSD at West Midlands Police?
That would be good. When you get back on the street, then, and we could let the community do it. Somebody who's not like me, somebody who's like you know. But you could go back on the streets then and protect the public in that respect. But I'd rather not have a PSD before. I'd like all my police officers that work for West Midlands Police who are employed and paid for by the community, me included, that never to be able to, I don't want to see what I see. I don't want to see what I see. I don't want to see you writing stuff like that makes you look biased. I don't want to see. Some of the letters that I've received from PSD are shockingly poor, so unprofessional. It's I don't know where to begin. It's really poor.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So you're going to send in the recording?
I'm going to send in the recording. Yeah, I'm going to find some way to, because unless, well, first of all, I'm writing a letter to you. I'm going to write this letter to you. I'll try and drop it off today. It's more likely tomorrow. And however long it takes to get you, I don't know. Okay. I don't have email. Well, it might be today. Then I'll try and get this recording onto some sort of disc. So you've got that, and hopefully that will be okay. And I'll try and think about what I can do. But honestly, I'm going to include how disappointed I am that you can't find that telephone call.
Okay, I'll note it all on the papers anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then. Look, you enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Oh yeah.
Bye. Bye.